I was 17 years old. If anyone's here from the Boston area, raise your hand. Boston area. It was a chilly, early evening in May. I had been dancing for about 2 hours, so I was sweaty. And I was pulled aside by my teacher, Miss Patricia, who took me at the end of class and said, "Julie, I need you to know I can see that you've tried really hard, but you are too big to be a dancer. You're not the right size. And I would recommend that you probably stop because it's not really going to be your career." So just to take you back a little bit to give you a sense, I fell in love with dancing at age 4. If anyone out there has ever gotten into ballet, tap, jazz, or just loved moving their body and shaking it, you could find me in a leotard 3 days a week. I was the one with all of the tacky costumes in my closet. I'm dating myself, but I loved solid gold. If anyone likes solid gold, I used to shake and wanted to wear gold, and I loved it. I felt so free dancing. It was something that brought me utter joy, passion, and I felt fully alive. And it was on that night that I not only heard her say that I was too big, I heard her say that I was not good enough. I heard that I was too everything not okay to do what I wanted to do. The way that I handled that situation and those feelings was to use and abuse food. And there might be others that have been there before. Yeah. And I realized, so fast forward 20 years later, I had completely stopped dancing. At events, weddings, celebrations, you'd find me on the side. Okay, maybe if I had a drink or two, I'd be on the dance floor. But all I heard is this one person's words, her voice say, "You're not good enough. You're too big. You shouldn't be out there." And I made that my gospel, my doctrine. And it was after a very low moment. For me, it came in the addictive form of tie-dye M&Ms from Costco. 6-pound bag. I ate 3 pounds of them. Sure did. And I was sick for 3 days. And I realized when I was about to drive my car into a wall, this is 20 years later, that something was not going right here. And that was the moment I decided I need to get help. And if I don't get help, I won't be here, let alone dancing. And that was the beginning of a whole new story that I started to write, because what I saw was I took one person's words of 7 billion, and I took her words and believed them like they were true. And I realized that the degree that I could have gotten was a double major in people-pleasing and self-loathing with a minor in victimhood. And it was in looking at my story and looking at what I'd believed and how I'd abused food and how I'd stopped dancing that I had a realization that there had to be another way. And it was time. It was time to rewrite my story. It was time to create new coursework and to start over. And that is where I decided to get a PhD, not just a bachelor's, but a PhD, which a PhD is a doctorate in philosophy. It is the highest form of study. And I realized it was time to turn the attention of my studies inward and to invest in myself, to ask myself deeper questions that dug deeper to understand what brought me joy, what made me feel alive, why was I here, what's my passion. And I also saw that it was time to believe that the ROI of investing in myself was priceless and worth every penny. Time, resources, energy. And it was through all of this looking at what was going on that I came up with what has changed my life. I'm going to share with you these 3 modules, and I'm sure you're going to be really shocked to hear that the 3 modules that I created are called P, H, and D. And this came out of my experience of really looking and seeing that the way I was living was keeping me playing small and not living the life that I came here to live. And I'm hoping this adds serious value for you. So these 3 modules, P starts with P, stands for past. And what I did is I looked and I saw that I had taken those words and I stopped dancing, and that my past was full of moments that were not allowing me to express my best. So I looked through my past history and I realized it was time to start dancing again. H stands for honor. How was I honoring myself? How are you honoring yourself? This is a big one. This is about being in the present and realizing that you have a reason to be here. That passion, the desires that you feel and that you want to express are real and are for a reason. And so I looked at how can I honor myself? I got myself back into every dance class. If you were friends with me at that time, you could have seen me dancing capoeira, which I sucked at, ballet, jazz with jazz hands. I mean, every Broadway, ballet, bar, I took any and every dance class I could. I got back on the dance floor because I realized there is no such thing as too big or not good enough. There is no such thing. There's no truth to that. And lastly, the 3rd module is the D. And this is important because if we don't look at what is D is direction, if we don't look at the direction of how we want to live our life, then we're going to be stuck in the past. And what I was doing was living my past and bringing it forward in my present, which kept me from honoring myself to my future. And so one of the things I did was I got certified to teach ballet and bar. And so today, I get to work with young girls and women and men and teach them and watch them self-express and have joy dancing. Most recently, I had a girl in my class who reminded me of me. And I saw that she was so elated. She was dancing with utter joy, could have cared less what she looked like. And I had the honor of going up to her and saying to her, I love watching you dance. I love watching you express your passion. I hope you'll continue to do that for the rest of your life. So one of the things that I got was that I had let a teacher, her one set of words, dictate my life, and then shifted gears to realize that what I needed to do is find the teacher within. And when I went back to the school of myself and got a PhD in me, what I learned is that the teacher that we're all looking for is within. And so my question to you is, how will you honor the teacher within you? How will you do that to become your youest you and to fully express your passions, your purpose, and all that your teacher is here to guide you to do?